Melinda hated driving at night. She did her best to avoid it. Short trips to the store, if she just realized she ran out of tampons or had nothing for dinner after getting home. That sort of thing happened every now and then, but she did her best not to go out after dark unless someone was coming to pick her up. So, naturally, she found herself on the longest drive of her life tonight, with no moon, few stars, swirling clouds above her, and acres of forest on either side. As so many unpleasant things in her life, this was her father's fault. She hadn't seen or spoken to the bastard in 15 years, but just after falling asleep tonight. No, that was wrong. It would be yesterday by this time. Out of the blue, her phone rang and his voice was on the other end. "I need you, Melly. Please, come now." He'd said just that, and then the line went dead. The old ass was probably drunk, but he never called her before, not since she was a child, and he was still trying to convince her mother to take him back. It felt like she'd been dreaming, waking up to hear his voice again after all these years. It sounded like he was crying. His voice sounded just the same as the last time she'd heard it. As though in a dream, she'd risen, dressed, and gotten in the car. She was well out of town and halfway to his old place before realizing that she had no way of knowing if he even still lived there. She received updates from her mother from time to time over the years about where he was. The last time she heard from her mother about him was 7 years ago. Had he ever stayed in one place that long? Not to her recollection. She had been 7 when her mother finally had enough and showed him the door. Prior to that, a move had come every few months. The house they had been living in was their longest stay in one place, a full 16 months. It turned into 2 years after that, and then the next house had been the one she had left when she moved out on her own. In all that time, she heard from him sporadically at best, and had finally decided it was best to simply forget about him. Until tonight. She had found out, after a 2-hour drive, that she had been right to wonder if he was still in the same place. His last known address was a sketchy apartment in a low-income area of the town she had grown up in. Had he been number 24 or number 42? Maybe he was 14. It definitely had a 4. It didn't matter. His name wasn't on any of the buzzers. Bastard! Her drunk of a father had called her at night, all but demanding she come to him for reasons he didn't even feel were important enough to tell her over the phone, and then just expected that she would know where he lived now? In a flurry of rage, she turned and marched back to her car, slamming the door and starting off in the direction she came. She was so angry she didn't even look where she was going and missed her turn off. The next thing she knew, she was on this lonely sketch of road. Cars were sparse, but she took some comfort in the fact that she would pass one every half hour or so. Her dashboard clock now read 2:27 p.m. She had been driving for more than 5 hours since leaving her house at night. Every 5 minutes or so, she checked her cell phone. Ever since realizing she was lost, she had checked her phone and found no bars at all. She even stopped at a gas station, closed of course, just sure there should be some service around here, somewhere, but nothing. Take stock of your life, Melly, she thought. You're over 30. You hate your job. You and your mother don't get along. You haven't seen or spoken to your father in just under half your life. You have no time for your friends or relationship thanks to the aforementioned job you hate. And now here you are, trapped on a road you've never been on before, at night. And you can't even so much as call AMA, let alone check Google Maps. Smart lady you are. She briefly considered stopping and flagging down the next car that passed. She quickly realized the futility of that plan. Any car on this road would also have no service, so there was nothing for it. She'd have to drive until she saw a house. She'd feel bad for waking someone up, but there was no choice. She needed to find a way back to the main highway. But so far, all that she could see on either side was trees. Mile after mile of trees, no light shining through the boughs, no sign that anyone had ever been here before, except that there was a road, and people were obviously still driving on it. There weren't any road signs other than the mile markers. Had she really found the middle of nowhere? She was just in the middle of this thought when her headlights illuminated something just up the road, a square wooden sign, obviously made by someone other than the government. This wasn't a gas, food, lodging sign, or a mile marker, or a distance to sign. This looked like the kind of signs advertising a private business was nearby. She slowed down to read it.